Welcome back, everybody, here to your coverage of the Dota 2 Championship League. I'm your host, TobiWan, bringing you your live stream for game number 2 now. Fnatic going up against the Team Liquid. Boys, Team Liquid with a very, very strong start in game number 1. How did they go in game number 2? Let's find out together, peoples. Over we go into our drafting phase, and I can welcome in my co-caster for the night. It is the wonderful man. He is now MLG featured. It is Clairvoyance. Welcome to the broadcast.
How you doing, Toby? Good buddy, good pal. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, good buddy, good pal.
All right, that's good to hear, man. I'm very, very excited for game 2 right now. And I see Liquid has decided to ban out the Elder Titan against themselves, and I don't understand why. But Fnatic, taking out Nature's Prophet already.
You cannot do a Jamaican accent. I'm just telling you right now.
Man,
especially when you phase out of it halfway through and sound even slightly Indian by the end of it.
I can do a Jamaican accent and an Indian accent too.
No one would ever know he's Korean. Let's just focus on what you do know. Dota 2.
Come on, that was a little bit rude, please. Can you rephrase that? That hurts my feelings, man. You know, I want to go to work.
Let's focus it on your field of expertise.
All right, I like that.
You like that one? Okay.
But you know, I like to just reiterate the fact that my field of expertise, Toby, it's a vast field, very, very large.
It includes Dota 1 and Dota 2. Whoa.
That's right. And CS:GO, and League of Legends, and you know,
get out.
And other things here and there.
Get off my live stream.
Oh gosh, I apologize, but the Lich pickup will be the first now on Fnatic,
5 seconds
and
remaining.
A very strong pickup, something that was kind of passed or overlooked rather in the first stages last game. Let's see if Fnatic can play to their avail this time, because Liquid grabbing up a very, very strong 2-set, and I've seen these 2 exact heroes being picked by a couple other teams in this exact same sequence. I think Alliance was one of them. But the Bat Rider is still definitely extremely potent, and I'm not too sure about his jungling. I know his nerfs are not exactly geared towards his jungling specifically, but I mean the jungle creep movement does actually nerf him a little bit depending on how you want to see it, because he needs to get that start from the lower creep camp. But depending on luck and a couple other things here and there, the Bat Rider can still be a very, very scary force in the mid game. And Liquid, realizing it and picking it up early, going to try to gear a lineup to get a lineup around it, although pretty much anything can be geared around Bat Rider. So Visage once again being picked up for them, and I do imagine that Way 2 will be playing that. So a lot of interesting cards that are left in Liquid's hands. Let's see how they'll play it out. But as for Fnatic right now, I'm curious to see what they're going to secure for mid lane, because I do think that the mid lane right now is extremely critical for them. Let's see what kind of role they're going to give Hani this time, whether it's going to be somewhat of a stale character like the Invoker, or being played stale rather, where you just sit around, kind of use your Midas and farm and give some global support every now and then, or something dynamic, something we're used to seeing him play a little bit more often. And I know that Invoker is something I've seen play very often recently, but I do believe that there are other heroes in the mix. Do you recall any of them by any chance?
Sorry, what?
Well, do you recall of like Hani's heroes lately by any chance? Aside from
apart from the Queen of Pain would be another one I would throw in there.
Yeah.
It's just basically Invoker and Quap. The guy doesn't like to change around too much until something is not really working, and then he'll start to change again. It's not one of these things where it's like, well, we have a plethora of. It's not like watching Mushi play the solo mid. It's a lot more limited than that.
5 seconds remaining.
And I apologize for not instantly getting your question, because my brain was sitting on the other end of the field going, how is Fnatic going to win this? Because whenever I see a Lich, I used to be when Lich first got his changes, and the way the sacrifice works now, and the huge change, the fact that also you can stack your slows. I'm like, okay, this is a really good change for him, but I still have the fundamental problem when it comes to Lich, that you are just so susceptible to push, and you're so susceptible to push, which comes with a level of initiation. Now,
alright, Toby, I'm not known for my precision, but I like to say that that's basically the fundamental problem of Lich, is that he's Lich at the end of the day, right?
Yes. Yes.
I like that. All right, Toby. I like that analysis. Thank you.
I should also correct myself from Nahaz. I can't believe I didn't even say that. Puck would be the other one. Even though he's saying DK's in the mix too. I would have thought Queen and Pain and Puck should have been the other obvious ones for Harney's heroes.
Yeah, one of the main
Fnatic's
reasons I
turn
am
to
wondering is
ban.
because he will be facing up against the Bad Rider more likely than not. I mean, it could still be a Koipa hero in the jungle or in the offlane, but Bad Rider at mid still is, I think it's the way to go because there's no other hero that can shut down an enemy mid laner by spamming a spell that reduces turn rate
10
by
seconds
70% and
remaining.
essentially just stun them into spots. And yeah,
5
I'm curious to
seconds
see how
remaining.
Liquid's gonna transition to putting the placeholder for these heroes, but we'll have
Team
to wait and
Liquid's
find
turn
out
to
for that
ban.
because once again, Lich and Timbersaw. Now Timbersaw being picked up without a mention of the bounty owner or Clockwork kind of scares me
Team
because
Liquid's
I
turn
do
to pick.
still believe that although Timbersaw is stronger in the lane and perhaps on specific stages of the game, especially specific parts of the map, Clockwork is still very strong and
Fnatic's
against
turn
heroes
to
like
pick.
Lich and Timbersaw. Clockwork, I would imagine, if not already a first pick in the game, definitely a first pick against certain heroes like those. So I'm surprised that Liquid hasn't picked it up yet. It it might be a little bit of mind games. It's probably the fact that they just don't want it as a whole. They're just not going to pick it this game.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not too sure what it's going to be because I do remember Bulba's telling me that if Liquid's playing Clockwork, it's only going to be on him
10 seconds
because
remaining.
Koifa plays all the 3 position heroes that plays the farming role,
5
as in
seconds
like
remaining.
eventually will carry like Lone Druid or the Prophet,
Yep.
and what plays all the I guess quote unquote space makers. Although I do believe there are better terms
Team
for it.
Liquid's
Just leave it at 3
turn to
position
pick.
heroes that'll be more active in the early stages of the game, such as the Clockwork or the Bounty Hunter.
Sounds about right. Sounds about right.
Actually, even the Bounty Hunter, I think they've been rotating back and forth. But yeah, I think the Clockwork is. They say Bulba is. It's his signature hero, so they leave the Clockwork for him. In which case, I would understand they're overlooking it because the Bat Rider's been picked up. The Night Stalker coming out though. Once
10
again, a hero that
seconds
was like,
remaining.
and when everybody saw the changes, they were like, "Oh gosh, this hero's gonna destroy." But
5
as
seconds
soon as you saw the
remaining.
4-minute nighttime kick in, you're kind of just wondering, well, where's my Night Stalker? He's not ready to do anything yet. So the changes help him
Reserve
with
time.
Aghanim Scepter as well as a couple other things, but otherwise, not all that scary.
I'm still looking at a Lich who is, well, dead, so he's not going to be the quickest runner in the world. But Timbersaw and Night Stalker, two melee heroes that can still get controlled themselves. This is where I'm currently feeling a problem coming for Fnatic. That they've got to
10
get in close
seconds remaining.
on a sticky napalming Bat Rider, a grave chilling Visage, and Mirana who can
5
give
seconds
either movement speed or a way to get out. And now you add a Lone Druid to the mix up.
Fnatic's
Right.
turn
There's not
to
enough
pick.
straight direct damage to just pick off the Lone Druid bear or Lone Druid himself, and you get an entangle as well. We get another level of control, and you talked about it before with Quote for his Lone Druid. You're going to get that today.
Yeah.
The only question I have right now is Bat Rider in the middle lane. That's not a question. That's just the statement before the question. Is it going to be a Lone Druid on the bottom lane for Team Liquid with an aggressive
10
tri-lane
seconds
between the
remaining.
Visage and the Mirana +1? Or do we go down a different
5
line,
seconds
put the
remaining.
Lone Druid on the off lane and just say, at this point with a Lich, you're not going to have enough control over him anyway, and it looks like it's going to be, in fact,
Turn to
Era's
ban.
Night Stalker, because DK is normally Harney's hero. So, third melee hero now. Still not feeling the pushing power. I'm definitely feeling the tankability from their lineup, but we've also got possibility of
10
one more core
seconds
coming out here
remaining.
from Team Liquid to give them the damage if Mirana's not the DPSer
5
herself.
seconds remaining.
Yeah, I'm very curious how Fnatic's gonna play it out because as much as I hate to see all those melee heroes, all the
Fnatic's
melee
turn
strength. I
to
mean, melee
ban.
strengths are the best heroes overall. So it's not that I question the picks themselves so much as I question what their plan is.
Mhm.
I'm wondering. I don't know. For some odd reason, I'm getting a very Enigma vibe out of Fnatic right now. In which case, it would be
10
extremely
seconds
greedy,
remaining.
but extremely Fnatic-like. And as for the Night Stalker Dragon Knight, I've seen both Era as
Team
well as
Liquid's
Hani
turn
play
to
up the heroes, both Night Stalker and Dragon Knight respectively. So I do think that as you said, it's probably going to be a Hani Dragon Knight, but I'm not too sure at this point because once again, that last pickup kind of hides all the cards. And even if that last pickup came to pass, even if it's like, for example, the Enigma and they get extremely greedy, I feel like they still have the option of running multiple different ways because they have the Lich on the support more likely than not. So
10 seconds
the Lone Druid's
remaining.
probably gonna have a pretty easy time in the first few minutes. But if
5
Fnatic
seconds
decide to get aggressive with their
remaining.
heroes, Koipa could get shut down pretty
Fnatic's
hard, and that's
turn
always
to
the risk
pick.
of running up the Lone Druid on the safe lane these days, or running the Lone Druid at all. Actually, is that you die and then you lose your bear, and kind of just can't do anything for a period of time, and
But,
it's a pretty sad scenario.
okay, I don't see how Fnatic can get aggressive with the heroes right now. The only option I'm really feeling is you run Lich on the off lane, deny up the lone druid as much as you possibly can, and use Lich to be passively aggressive on the bottom lane, while Timbersaw tries to take the farm. Then you throw the DK in the mid, Night Stalker on top, but you're up against an aggressive tri-lane. You grab a CM and a Visage right now, you're up against an aggressive tri-lane. Windrunner's the last one, so I assume it's a support Windrunner, and there it is. Yeah, there's no tell on Windrunner. I thought for a moment they could try something quirkier, so then Windrunner could play the off lane, but there's just no reason to it. But you're taking up a very fragile support hero up against a CM and a Visage and a Mirana. I'm just seeing the killing potential of Team Liquid and the control potential and lane potential, all the potential for Team Liquid's lineup. Again, it's just like game number 1, where Liquid have what appears to be the smarter and more synergized draft.
Yeah, I think so too. I think I don't really want to put it too bluntly, but I do think that Liquid's got the upper hand in this exchange when it comes to the drafting. And I'm not too sure how well Fnatic can adapt, but this may or may not be one of those off-lane winners. Now that I'm looking at his inventory, he's got both wards and sentries, so I'm being led to doubt that it's going to be one of those off-lane dual lane with the windrunners, but it could be. And I really hope it is, because if they're trying to go tri-lane versus tri-lane against Liquid, I don't see it working. And as I say that, Liquid's actually doing 2-1-2 because they're anticipating an off-lane dual lane, so maybe they might have just won the mind game. Who knows?
They may have also just lost the mind game, because I really feel like Liquid's potential with their aggressive tri-lane between the CN, the Visage, and the Mirana is potential to pick off Fnatic heroes. Even if there's only 2 heroes up there, it makes it even easier to try and dive and get some kills. Lone Druid would have been fine in this bottom lane without having Fluff and stuff here. With Fluff and stuff here, with the melee heroes, Fluff knows that he is capable of kiting anybody on this off lane, and wait, are they moving it down? Wait, what the hell? We've got both Trixie as well as Era going south. And I think someone's just told Trixie to head back up north. So Fnatic, they're going to switch their tri-lane from top lane, and they have to stick together as 3, going to go bottom lane. So we have an offensive tri-lane from Fnatic up against Fluff and stuff as well as Quoitfa.
Ooh, I don't really know how that's going to go. I hope it goes well, because for me, I just feel that Liquid's tri-lane as a whole, no matter whether it's the Priestess or the Lone Druid that's being focused as the core, is going to be stronger than any tri-lane that Fnatic can come up with right now. So I would be pretty scared if they actually didn't do the 2-1-2 lanes that this patch kind of dictated for everybody. I really do hope this Windrunner does stay on the safe lane and kind of babysit the Timbersaw, because Liquid looks to be trying to get advantage in every single lane as well, and TC's already starting out with a Wraith Band, so he'll do a little bit of damage, although Priestess never really does damage alone. And there will be a Visage beside him, so that's 2 ranged right clickers versus a Timbersaw, which isn't terrible, because Timbersaw is Timbersaw. He has the reactive armor, and he usually picks up the Stout Shield. But at the same time, the harassment coming out of all Liquid's heroes in the lanes, once again, Fnatic, will they be able to survive it all with the melee strength heroes, so they can give enough time for their melee strength heroes to kick in the mid game? And as you said, those face rush in your face kind of heroes that kind of dive, close the gap quickly. Let's see if they can survive to that part.
And if they do, then I like Fnatic's mid game. If they do. But let's watch the CS probably more closely than anything else. Right now, Way Too Sexy, he's hovering around the top rune, so Liquid, they are staying slightly split, but Fluff and stuff's already moving off the bottom lane. He leaves the Observer Ward. He's probably going to notice too this dual lane of Fnatic, which they've settled on, which will be Lich as well as Night Stalker on the bottom lane. Harney's DK solo mid, and then top lane Notal supporting up against Trixie. Now, these lanes are like a lot better from Fnatic. A lot better from Fnatic. I think at this point, with the movement as well from Liquid, they've got themselves some good openings on this bottom lane. The only question is still going to be, how effective will Quoitfa be on this bot as far as CS goes? Because how much does he get zoned out by Fly? The Bear's not going to take too much harassment, so it really just comes down to who gets on top of the last hits or not. And then top lane, TC on this Mirana. He's already going to be looking for some high CS early on, but Trixie, with reactive armor, he can also stay in close. He'll find some good levels. And Notal will give a little bit of harassment over on the side, so it's not going to be the easiest thing. And already we've got Liquid, Fluff and stuff. He spent the entire part of this game walking. fitness guru. Heading top, now heading bottom again, after being bottom to start with.
Come on, Toby. How do you think Crystal Maiden manages to keep her body in that shape? It's not easy.
It's a new form of ice surgery.
Mm-hmm.
She comes with her own frostbite and shizzle.
Well, don't know about that one, but
It's also a rather disturbing kind of image. We now have Crystal Maiden's liposuction clinic where we literally freeze the fat straight off your body. Koitfa too far up. This is what I was talking about. You can't get in too close on this either. It just becomes a battle of CS until Koitfa gets out too far. Be another frost to come off here from Fly, and with the void from Era, they've got this kill. Koitfa use the tree and cut through. He knows he has to. He's got to move up now. Flufferstuff coming in too late on the last heal, and that's going to be the death of Koitfa on this bottom lane. And this aggressive dual lane of Fnatic is insanely successful. And Fluff too late to the party. At the same time, where was the rest of the party? Visage is up on top lane, so he can't help out.
It's going to be definitely tough for Koipa unless Fluff just keeps his presence at bay around the premises of the lane, because he invested in himself to try and escape that as Fluff was rotating and hoping that Fluff could cast a spell and he could get away. But unfortunately for him, not only did he lose the South, but he also lost his handy companion known as the Spirit Bearer. So what can I say, man? You can never underestimate the aggression coming out of a team like Fnatic with any sorts of hero, especially heroes like Lich who can spam their spells endlessly at level 2. And Fnatic, Era on the Night Stalker, who has that void. Of course, it doesn't do the full slow during the daytime duration, but it does do quite a bit of burst damage. So Lone Druid, definitely susceptible to early game aggression.
Notice too that Fly is trying to hold this creep wave back a little bit further too by keeping himself away from the creep wave. There's always this thing which I get really concerned about with Night Stalker, so I like him in the solo mids, and I'm always a little bit skeptical about like this off-lane dual lane. Getting a kill definitely helped him out, but this is going to be the first nighttime cycle coming up, and he's about to hit level 4. Without that kill, it wouldn't have gone that way. Fly, well, he's got Frost off to cooldown 2 seconds time. He's got to keep himself in range. He's got the kill, and range, not one more attack. He's got it. But he's taken himself too close in range of the tower, which means Koitfa was able to capitalize on his overextension.
Yeah,
there it goes 2-1.
Those are those tricky scenarios that I'm not even sure if that's really worth it. I mean, the kill going to Koipa and the solo EXP as well, after you've been fed a support kill, that is not what you want to give Koipa right now. And as for why I really like this dual lane, to be honest, is once again, with the new nighttime timings, Night Stalkers aren't exactly ready to roll around the map and just kind of dominate everybody because he's higher level than everyone. So what I like about the new nighttime is that, yeah, here, now that nighttime's hit, Era can actually solo zone out Koipa, but as I say, like, Koipa hits level 5, so he's probably going to entangle the heck out of Era like
he got it on the second hit too.
Yeah.
Just to remind Era. Just to remind Era what happens. And Fly can have the same problems. If that hit managed to entangle him on the first pause swipe, the creep wave was moving up as well. Fly would be sitting at under half of his life points right now.
Yeah, but even Koipa, once again, looking at his item choices, rushing up the Tranquil Boots on his main bear, he knows how important it is for him to not get caught out of position, because with this extra speed coming out from the Night Stalker and the extra vision and all the other advantages that the Night Stalker gets at nighttime, Koipa gets caught out once, he's dead meat. When he dies again, his item progression is going to be hindered so much that it's so difficult to come back against a hero like Night Stalker who can get aggressive. And DK already is very, very tanky against Lone Druid, so Lone Druid's just going to have a harder time overall the more he dies, and I know that's kind of an obvious logic thing to say, but the level of punishment that Lone Druid takes out of a death is just magnified by 10 in these kind of lineups.
One thing we haven't really mentioned about is that the level on the support heroes up on the top lane, especially way too sexy. Like, normally for Visages, you want to try and find that level 6 as quickly as possible so you can get your familiars up and running, but with this lineup from Liquid, they don't even have like an option where a hero starts to rotate. Like Batrider rotates, which means you might put Visage in towards that middle lane. But Batrider needs to find his Blink Dagger before he can do so, and while he's finishing up one, buying a TP scroll, he's not ready to do that just yet. It's going to take a very long time before Visage is going to find some levels. Like, Crystal Maiden can pull it out of the jungle. She's 3 3/4, so that's not as bad. But, yeah, there's... My concern right now is just how quickly Visage is capable of leveling up, because even Windrunner just cracked level 4, and both the Liquid supports are still back on 3.
Yeah, I think it's a very Liquid-esque thing to do to kind of underlevel supports because of rotations or trying to have efficient rotations, but the bear is dead. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of gold going in favor of Hani there as he picks it up and is a couple steps closer to his treads. But one of the things I've noticed with Liquid, sometimes if they get underleveled on their supports, they usually pick it up by ganking. And as I say that, Fluff and Stuff decides to pop his smoke. He doesn't have boots, but the smoke does give him extra movement speed, so he'll be able to rotate around faster. And if they secure this kill on Hani, that's going to give them their level 5 and a pretty good way into their levels. That's going to give them their level 4, pardon me, and a pretty good way into their level 5. But as Hani decides to back for bottle crow rotations and his treads, I think Liquid has become a little bit scared and a little bit awry of the situation.
Alright, so a little bit slower game than our last one, but overall advantage, no matter how we look at it, no matter how we talk about our lanes, we are still seeing Fnatic getting the upper hand. They have an experience advantage of about 2,500, and the gold is just over 1,500 as well. So the lanes are paying off it for Fnatic. This movement from Liquid, I think, has just wasted way too much time on their support heroes. And this is what we talked about before, too, with way too sexy farm for him, while Batrider gets his burst farm coming out from the jungle, but is farming the experience for way too in the middle lane. And he could do that up against Hani, because what's Hani going to do? Go into Dragon Form and Dragon Talon and burst and damage him down? Yeah, he could do that, but he won't want to commit all of that in just to pick off a Visage, especially when he's going to realize the bulb is still in the neighborhood.
Yeah. Just as you say, no matter how you look at it, these supports not getting much out of it on the side of Liquid, so they really, really wanted that kill on Hani, but...
Top lane. Movement's coming into Fluff and Stuff. With these boots, though, he's able to keep his distance, and because he had to, top tier 1 tower should go down right now. Both supports, in fact, have moved up towards the top lane, and the Sharkham's just being used as a filter to keep the Liquid guys away. But the top tower is taken by Fnatic, and we head into daytime as well. So, first nighttime cycle, 2 kills for 1 in favor of Fnatic. Both assists going the way of Era, and they get a tier 1 tower to boot. Not too shabby.
Oh man, I think what just happened is going to have its implications in the next 2 minutes, and the reason I say that is Hani went to the top lane, popped his dragon form, which shows the enemy that his dragon form is going to expire in a relatively soon time. And as he was rotating back, Boba picked up a haste rune at the top lane, and he has solo smoke. No, pardon me, not a solo smoke, but a dual smoke with Fluff as well as Boba. With that haste rune, he's going to secure himself a kill somewhere. I don't know if it's going to be bottom. I don't know if it's going to be mid. But as long as he is off the map for the next 2 minutes, Fnatic knows that they have 2 pieces of information. Is that 1, the Batrider is hunting somebody, and 2, he has a haste rune. So they have to play extra careful. And it's always just the roughest thing, because if the Batrider does get the kill, no matter what happens, then he wins. Because he's just creating space and forcing enemies to play very cautiously just by being off the map. So this is one of those reasons why you pick this hero. And Boba doesn't even have a Blink Dagger, but yeah, he decides to just say, I'm going to finish my Blink Dagger, use the haste rune later, secure a kill later, whatever.
I think it's a little bit annoyed about what he just attempted to. He attempted to stack this camp first, and he moved the camp, and the camp got to here. Like, it basically walked to this box, and the camp didn't spawn. Now, I'm not quite sure 100% about the hitboxes on that camp, but looked to me like it probably should have spawned. It had all 3 creeps with it, too.
It may or may not be because Boba is a pretty big guy and takes up extra space on the map.
He is not a big guy, he's slender.
He's very tall guy, though.
True.
Arching over at 6 feet.
True, we could talk about big in the different height instead of width.
Yeah, him in his gentleman's attire and everything. Always ready for a catch, and this time his stack does seem to be successful, and he's got a Blink Dagger as well as a smoke ready for a solo smoke, potential solo smoke, of course. So if he wants to go for that, he can do so anytime.
He just needs a target. The haste rune has been triggered, but he's still using it to farm right now because no one's shown themselves here in the middle lane. Fnatic, as you said, like they did scat out that haste rune, so Hani's gone to the jungle to farm up. No-Tail's looking to stack and pull something on this top lane. Trixie's pretty difficult anyway for a Batrider to pick off. He needs to have the napalm set up before he starts the lasso, especially if he wants to pick off that Timbersaw. And then on the bottom lane, Lich has been hanging back behind the tier 1, tier 2 towers here, just sacrificing, keeping the creep wave slightly in check. And Era stays close enough that he can soak up a little bit of the experience, but doesn't need to take a risk. It's 1 minute and 10 seconds before nighttime's going to reach, so he's fine. This haste rune has forced him to play a little bit more defensive, which has given Liquid more space to farm up. But Fnatic still hold their advantage going into the second nighttime cycle.
And of course, Koipa has just picked up his Midas around just before 11 minutes. So on the safe lane, it's not terrible considering that he has died once, and there was a lot of pressure put on him. But he can't farm the jungle because Boba is farming it, and I think Boba's just gonna transition to the second item. Talking about this hero with Liquid as well as some other players in general, the general theory with Badwater is that for every 2,000 gold he farms, he becomes exponentially scarier, exponentially stronger. And the first 2,000 is usually invested in the Blink Dagger. The follow-up is either most of the time it's a Force Staff, and either that or the Boots of Travel, and then vice versa for the third, depending on what he got before. So yeah, each of those items definitely do increase his potential for damage much more. And I can't really doubt that decision. Although I do think that Boba could have made a play earlier. He will decide to play it safe and just stack the jungle right now and farm it.
Mm-hmm. I kind of wanted to go. I attempted this earlier, early game number 1, to go to the showcase view on the Night Stalker as we hit our nighttime cycle. But sorry, peoples, it doesn't work for spectators by the looks of it, which is rather depressing. Valve.
Oh yeah, it says only for free cameras. Yeah. I do remember something about in the patch notes.
But I'm on a free camera.
So am I.
Yeah, we're going by free camera. So. I don't know if it breaks the Dota TV, and maybe that could be the reason why. Because people watch through my perspective. In fact, I set the #1 slot, which means you guys are watching my perspective. If you are tuning in on Dota TV and you clicked our channel, your perspective is in fact my perspective. So maybe that's the reason why. Because it'll break that possibly. I don't know. Could be taken on holidays. Candid. Anyway.
Toby, do you feel that your CS:GO ranking accurately reflects your skill?
Kiss my ass.
Whoa! Bro, I was just checking. I was just wondering for a second.
Troll.
No, see, like me, you know, I'm actually a 3-star, right? But I'm a fake 3-star because I'm actually supposed to be a legendary Eagle Mask. But the game decides to say that I don't have enough games to be such, so that's just how it is.
How about we just enjoy our Dota 2?
Yeah, man, Liquid just took the mid tower. A piece of action coming around. And now Fnatic has returned, follow suit at the bottom lane. Era does have that darkness up, but he's not using it as we see because it is level 1, and there's really no need to because the cooldown is just so darn long. Putting it off cooldown for 3 minutes just for 30 extra seconds is just not worth it for a lot of these players. So
yeah, no reason to use it until you hit the level 2 at least, and then it's okay. Just as long as you don't find yourself during the daytime and short of a nighttime. Kind of what it's all about. Well, top lane, I don't know if you saw it too, like, while that mid lane push was coming out from Liquid, like, Fnatic committed a lot of players to that bottom lane, and now they are smoked up, and they're going to pick off the lone draw bear. This bear, it does have a resummon, so it's going to be okay. Lich will take the bonus 300 gold, but Fnatic, they're rotating down to take a second tower, while Visage was already prepping to push out this top lane. You can see it with Fluff as well as 2 of his familiars, which he'll have to drop if he wants the damage. But the rest of Liquid doesn't look like they committed as well. Because we've got Batrider, who's only recipe away from his 4-star, looking to jump in towards that middle lane. No haste rune available. The possibility of Shackle, Frost, and Lich ulti is very, very high. So he's still going to go for it. And he goes for the guy who's going to Frost, and the Shackle won't be able to latch and fly. He's got some space. Frost bitten up. Turn for the Lich ulti. Throws into the bear. Back up to Fluff. Down to the bear. Back up to Fluff. Dropping him down very, very low. And Era wants to try and focus on this bear right now. And they're not going to have enough damage to bring it down. But so, Lich down, Lich ulti down. Suppose you can say that's a semi-win.
Yeah. Bringing the score back to 2-2, and they're finally even. But in the end, there's no stopping on farm on both sides, and Koipa's still getting his bit, and Trixie gets stunned up at the top lane, but that's not going to really do much because he is Timbersaw with that Timber Chain. And as for the mid lane, yeah, they do secure the tower, so I do think that Fnatic's getting the better end of these exchanges every single time one of these slight engagements and skirmishes come by.
TC still finding his farm on that bottom lane, but we're 15 minutes in, man, and this kind of what I hinted at earlier on in our cast tonight, where we have Mirana, who doesn't really have a huge amount of farm. She's sitting at the 6th highest net worth right now at 4.9k, and there's just no DPS coming out from her. Like, Mirana needs space, needs farm. Her abilities don't give her that bonus DPS right-click damage you normally search for. And you want to get it out of the lone druid, like Koiva's using Hand of Mines and farming up into a Radiance. He'll get his damage up shortly, but it's still going to take him time before his bear's then tanky enough to survive up against the Fnatic lineup. And then who else are you going to get damage from? Batrider, who's got Blink Dagger 4-stuff. You get Initiation from him, but that's basically all. And you take out one hero, you take out a Night Stalker, DK and Timbersaw will kill you. And then vice versa. You take out one of these 3 cores, and the other ones will just stand there and say, you don't have enough damage to kill us all off. One of us will survive and still take you all out. And you got damage coming out from like Splash Form DK. Once he gets also his BKB completed, which is already an Ogre Club on the way to. Night Stalk, we know how fast he moves, and the burst damage coming out from Void and Controller comes out from that one. And then Timbersaw. He's Mr. Burst damage. And he loves it up against strength-based heroes, so he'll want to get nice and close in with that Lone Druid and just cuddle up. And then Bulba's going to try and get himself away, and if he doesn't have his 4 stuff, he's going to get caught inside of a Chakram, slowed down completely, and we're not even talking about the Crystal Maid and the Visage amount of life points they'll have. We can talk about bottom lane, Blink Dagger Lasso in on Notel, dragging him down further so then the arrow can connect from the Mirana. So they get a good pick off on the Windrunner, so that's nice, but it's still not one of the 3 cores. And now TC just went ahead of Midas as well. Oh, man.
Yeah, I was about to say, you know, I've been noticing the rise of this item coming in from both teams, and Era's picked one up before your segment there. Era's picked one up, and he's been using it. I think that's the 2nd time he's used it. But you indicated in the early stages, and you were reiterating on that point. I'm just gonna have to follow up and say, just as you said, man, this is looking to be somewhat of a slow game. Something that can progress into a mid-game fight where both teams have gotten their BKBs ready and it's their first engagement. A lot of heroes die and a lot of towers follow suit, and we're gonna just have to wait for a critical mass point. But just as you were saying, man, like not a lot of damage coming out of Liquid as a whole. Even with the Radiance, I do feel that the damage has its solutions on the side of Fnatic, whereas Fnatic's damage, I'm not too sure how many solutions Liquid has, because Liquid with the Batrider, they want to engage and they want to initiate. But if the Batrider gets caught out in one bad position, one stroke of bad luck where you get shackled by somebody, or somebody just insta voids you or insta stuns you or insta nukes you, and you can't follow up as efficiently as you wanted to because your life bar is just reduced to nothing, then it's going to be very, very troublesome for them to have a sustained fight. And that's what they're looking for with the Radiance. They want a fight that can drag on. They want to burst down a couple supports, and they want to be able to force the enemy lines to just rotate back, run away from them. But with the Night Stalker and all the other things that Fnatic has going for them with their item progression and so on and so forth, that's going to be very hard for Liquid to accomplish, even with the Visage as well as the Batrider to initiate. So I think Liquid, they definitely want more towers going down in their side. They definitely want more map control especially before nighttime. Because as much as they want to use the Midases, if they don't have the map control, they might just get picked off in the process. And speaking of which, Trixie at the top lane is alone.
Yep. He threw out his Chakram, but now there's triple TPs coming in. Trixie Timber Chains up. As I said before, picking off that Timbersaw is very difficult to do. He Timber Chains away. The Mirana ultimate's giving them some cover fire while way too sexy, trying to get a soul stomp to damage onto Trixie, but he's got 42 life points. He'll survive while Koitfa trapped in the tree line. There is just too much stability here. The Familiars pull the creep wave up a little bit further, but they don't get towers. Flavasos just putting out a little bit of extra push. TC was farming at the bottom lane, but it just goes to show, man, killing off a Timbersaw is insanely difficult. That was soul assumption damage, that was attacks from the bear, that was an initiation coming out from the Batrider, and that's one core hero before the rest of the heroes of Fnatic arrived. This is the reason why Fnatic are happy to say, well, okay, TC's got a hand of Midas. He's working himself into the late game. That's okay for them. Night Stalker got a hand of Midas because he also realizes that the longer this game goes on, the better it is for Fnatic. So as long as he can secure, like, farm and level progression, then he's okay. DK's already okay. He picked up a BKB. Courier's going to fly out to him shortly. And it's a full Aghanim Scepter up for Night Stalker. So at 20 minutes in, we hit our next nighttime cycle. He should probably be using his Darkness right now.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
There it is. So say it, and then Era does it. So he used his Darkness. We extend the nighttime, and this is going to be a very, very long nighttime cycle for Liquid to try and batten down the hatches and survive.
Yeah, for them, it might be something what seems to be like an endless night for the next few minutes. Night Stalker has picked up the gem as well, courtesy of Fnatic Fly, who has passed it on, said, You have unobstructed vision. You are the moving ward. You can secure the map control for us. And looks like that's exactly what they want to do. They want to take out some wards. If they can secure a kill, great. If not, all they do is secure the enemy jungle. And perhaps they can just sneak into Roshan. You know what? It looks like that's exactly what they want to do.
Well,
So
they see everything. They can tank everything. So it's just time by time by time, just kill off Roshan.
Yep. And you know, I'm surprised that Hani hasn't picked up a Midas this game. Of all the people, I thought he'd be the first.
I think Hani realizes what he has to do in this game. He's the man that needs to stand during the fight in the early stages. Later on, Timbersaw will then be the man, then Hani can go for his late game items, but Timbersaw needs to have Hani in the front lines to protect those Bloodstone charges and to rack up the Bloodstone charges. And then Era becomes our big late game DPSer, who's already got the buff up in the mid game anyway, so he doesn't need to always have the arms to allow him to do so, because he's got his other 2 strength-based heroes, and he's got Nighttime. When you got Nighttime, what else do you need? And now all three of them, they're the Bash brothers. Except more like the Bash triplets.
Oh, look! Did you see the synergy there? This is what you can do with Night Stalker when you have Aghanim and Midas. You can just go to a creep camp behind the tree line, and you can see over the tree. So you don't have to walk that extra couple paces just to Midas your creep. This is amazing synergy right there. What efficiency! Someone would be proud.
Says your grand total of like 0.5 of a second. Hero just hunts the familiars down too. They got their stomp off, but not before they died. And Visage has never resummoned. So he's got over 2 minutes now without having another set of familiars on the field.
Oh my.
Up against Era, who's got an Aegis Immortal up his sleeve. Trixie, who nukes down the creep waves. And they just tank it up and take the tower. Era's fine. Like, the only thing this lineup is missing right now is Vladimir's offering. It is, however, a trade-up. So, tier 2 tower in the bottom lane goes down. They're going to smoke up from Fnatic, from Liquid, sorry. Even though both TC and Coit are going to break it off while they try and take this Ancient stack.
You know, Toby, we've seen Bloodstone in many different functions. We've seen people suicide with Bloodstone. We've seen Bloodstone. Normally, what you expect is the charges to go up. We've seen them go to paramount figures.
TC's
I'm gonna
dead.
have to hold that thought because TC is about to get caught out.
Silenced, voided, gonna try and TP out here, fly. Oh, I don't know if you clicked on him at that time as well, but he almost threw the ultimate out from the Lich and looked for the mini stun from it.
It's a rare case scenario that it actually happens where the Lich is trying to ult and cancel the TP, but the target dies before the TP. That's how much burst damage Fnatic has got right now. And Fluff should give respect to that and run away as soon as possible, because if he didn't, he would have suffered a very painful death. But a quick one. But as I was saying, I feel like, you know, we've seen many Bloodstones. We've seen the ones that go to paramount figures. We've seen when people suicide with them. And, you know, ironically, we've seen Bloodstone charges go down to very low figures of possibly 0, 1s, and 2s. This might be just one of those games where the Bloodstone stays at like 8, 9 charges for 10 minutes.
See, I'm not feeling that as much, because I know Liquid are going to be sitting there going, oh, okay, during this nighttime cycle, Fnatic are completely grouped up. If they keep letting them do this, by the way, I don't know what the hell the Satyr's doing. He's the guy that doesn't go into the whole efficiency kind of thing. He's doing his own personal workout up on the cliff.
Oh, that's efficient in his own, by the way. You know, that Satyr, by the way, is going to give full gold in the RNG, you know? If it goes from 90 to 100, that's giving 100.
Hani, Dragon Form going into the Dragon Tail stun, which means he got the extra range of Visage will just go down. Lich with the Frostbite. Fnatic, this is what they were searching for. Like, Liquid has the daytime cycle to try and attack. Fnatic, they were grouping up as 3, looking for one pick off to move that into a tower. This is why I still feel like the Bloodstone charges were going to go up. Because Fnatic, no, they have the power right now over Liquid, who don't have jump and initiation. Mirana went Yasha after the hand of Midas. She doesn't have DPS to fight this. The Bat Rider, Blink, BKB, Lasso, grabs up Hani, but if Hani dies right now, it doesn't even matter. But Era's in the middle of this fight. Lich only bounces down, up to TC, back over towards the bear. Aegis the Immortal will now trigger, and Hani's still alive. You got the BKB off, the bear ended up dying, so it has to be resummoned back up again. If they pick off this bear again, Liquid are completely and utterly toast. But they're going to back themselves up, heal up quickly, arrow flies up, that's going to get a one-hit kill over onto Fly. The Lich maybe not seeing it coming, Chakram down, now they'll go through Trixie. And Liquid, they're going to roll with the punches here. They got a critical kill, them dropping those Bloodstone charges down to 7 seconds, but they've got to push us 5. Take that tier 2 tower in the mid. Get something back for what they just gave.
Honestly, Toby, I'm not sure if they can make that commitment right now. I feel like one of the reasons why Fnatic came out as lost in that exchange is they killed the bear and they lost the Aegis, which was perfectly fine. But they committed a lot of heroes to diving past the tier 3 tower into the enemy base with all those melee heroes, and no matter how fast they are or how great they are at escaping, sometimes you get caught in the heat of the moment and you just take one step too far, too deep, and it costs you, especially against heroes like Batrider, especially against ranged heroes like Mirana, who can throw out a long range arrow in the direction that you're going in a narrow path and catch you out. So 5-6 now the score in favor of Fnatic still, but Liquid catching up at a critical moment in nighttime. And now the daytime has struck, so let's see if, as you said, Liquid, this is their time to strike if they would like, but otherwise they can still play.
Trixie! He found Fluff. He's going to pull that Chakram back in again so he can throw it out again shortly. The Timber Chase is not going to connect, but No-Tail's on his way. He's already used the Windrunner to catch up to this point, and Chakram always off target. Now in comes Bulba. He used the Force Staff to initiate in, and now he's shackled, voided, frosted. And what did you say before? One mistake that can happen from a Batrider can mean the difference between victory and failure. A couple of familiars to be sniped up, but they can't. No, they didn't even attack him. The Batrider's on the sidelines for 40 seconds during daytime.
Yeah, that's just 40 seconds of map control gone for them for the daytime. That is so big because, well, I guess TC is going to try to make out of it the best he can, and as I say that, Poifa is doing an even better job by pushing a side lane into the enemy base. So a perfect reaction coming out of Liquid. It all seems to be so well planned, but if it was barring the death of the Batrider, it would have been so much better. So unfortunately, the Batrider goes down, but Liquid hold their ground in terms of map control.
Yeah, they do, man. That they do. The power of the split pushing Radiant's Lone Druid Bear. Question is, can he always survive? No-Tail had a perfect line for a Shackle and Quoitva, and they may as well just focus on the Bear. They may as well just focus and bring down this Bear, because they got support. But, No-Tail, okay. Maybe don't focus on anything then. Just let the Bear walk away.
No-Tail too fast for you, buddy.
Well, Bear's got 4 legs. No-Tail's only got 2.
That's right.
Unless Windrunner gets down to hands and knees.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Windrunner would never bow down to anybody, Toby. Come on.
I'm not saying bow. I'm just saying use all 4 legs to move.
Windrunner is first.
Push coming down the middle lane. Windrunner also proven recently sexy in Korea. God, wonderful.
Oh, I've seen some of that cosplay. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'm still trying to get the picture of my I had a picture taken. One of the OGN employees took a picture of me with all of the cosplayers. So I had Corp on one side and Windrunner on the other, and then like VS is on the other side. I had DK. Whole shebang was there. So I'm still trying to get that picture.
Did you say you belonged in that photo?
Hmm. I would say I feel more comfortable there than anywhere else in the world.
Is that right? How about in your comfy studio? Come on, man.
Oh, my comfy studio is nice, man. But if you don't have Korean cosplay, it just isn't the same.
You know, at first I was kind of just questioning myself, thinking if you got anything done in Korea. But Toby, I'm listening to your testimony right now, and I'm a believer, man.
Preach!
I feel like you got something done in Korea now.
Preach!
Well done, my friend. Well done.
Actually, I was really terrible in Korea. I was really, really terrible.
Why is that?
Because I had jet lag the entire time.
Oh.
So basically, I would fall asleep at 8 o'clock, wake up at 11 p.m., and then I couldn't go to sleep. I just couldn't go back to sleep again, and my body kept waking me up. So in grand total, I had about maybe 10 hours worth of sleep while I was there for 4 days. So it really wasn't that great. I didn't go out. I didn't do anything. In fact, the one time I met people was actually when they did go out and they came back, and I found the Alliance guys at 4 a.m. in the morning. That was basically it. So, for all those guys out there that say, oh, Toby, party hard, no. I was, in fact, the opposite.
Oh, whoa. Slow down there. You said you met Alliance guys at 4 a.m. in the morning. Sounds like there was a party going on there.
Yeah, they went out. They went out. That was because they played day 1 and day 3. So playing day 1 and day 3 meant that on the night of day 1, they had all the time in the world because they didn't have to do anything on day 2. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure that was all.
Back now that after the day is ended, we're here for nighttime. segue, smooth. We're back into the nighttime cycle for Fnatic. And I'm looking at a Night Stalk with 800 gold BKB Aghanim Scepter. I also just saw a Reaver over on the DK. And he's almost got enough money. With the death of the next Roshan, he will have enough money to completely finish up the Aghanim Scepter. While Lich has picked up Mech, we've got No-Tail, who is trying to build a Force Staff by the looks of it. So he's on his way towards that. And Timbersaw still in with 8 Bloodstone charges, but Trixie's on his way to a Shiva's Guard, possibly AC, but more than likely Shiva's Guard. And he's walking around with BTs as well as the Bloodstone. So he does have 3k gold as well, hence I say Shiva's.
I've got to say, I'm really liking the item choices from Hani today in general. Like, the DK with the heart, that's going to make him so much more tankier. And once again, looking at Liquid's lineup, because they have a lot of sustained damage, not a lot
they
of
might
burst.
pick off this bear right now. Even just having it on cooldown before Roshan's attempt is really big. Arrow gets tanked up by the creep wave, so 5 seconds on a dead unit. But Roshan's now alive now. If they were able to pick up that bear before the fight, this could be so different right now, but they didn't.
Yeah. Because Liquid have to play their cards entirely differently. Once they lose that second bear, it would have been pretty much over without the AC or the Radiance.
They already sent it back to heal, and they need to heal quickly because Roshan's about to be started. There's no live seal coming out though, because I kind of wish that No-Tail just put up a Vladimir's offering for the team.
Yeah, I feel like they could use extra armor as well. This is the thing with the hard pickup, is that they don't have the AC online as fast as possible, but Visage Bats are rotating in, so just as you said, man, let's see who's going to get the better end of this.
Well, in comes Batrider as well. Blink BKB. He's going to pick up Era, who also got his BKB triggered. Hani got his up too. Arrow will fly in. Has no effect. And Era, well, now the Blink Lasso, it has literally done nothing in this fight. Trixie can't tiptoe himself away. He'll be the first one to go down. In fact, going to commit suicide while on the other side of the river, Lone Druid being taken out by the Night Stalker. So it's a 1-for-1 trade, but the Bloodstone brings back the Timbersaw quicker. And Hani with his Dragon Form is trying to catch up to somebody. The Frost Armor for him, though, is wearing off. I mean, put back up on him right now. And they're going to go back in and try and finish what they started.
That's exactly it. They're probably going to get it too, because Liquid
doesn't
have the Lone
Arrow.
Druid.
It actually hit on the Roshan. So it's helping out Fnatic when they attack it, but without the Lone Druid bear to scout out, there's no respawn money either, no buyback money either. Can they pick up the bear? Oh, they just resummoned. And they're letting him have it.
I think it's wise. I think it's wise that Liquid just backs up from there. I don't think they would have gotten anything done by re-engaging that situation without their bear. Their highest net worth hero, as well as the AC and the Radiance, pretty much the bulk of their damage. There was no way they were going to have enough follow-up to burst down anything like the DK or the Night Stalker. So, wise call. Just stay back. They got the best they could out of that situation by farming up as much of the jungle camp as possible, and it would have been nicer if somebody's pushing out the bottom lane and retreating right now, because that could have been a potential rotation coming out of Roche. But aside from that, a nice reaction, but unfortunately for Liquid, the trade of the Timbersaw and the Lone Druid cost them the Aegis. So we look at another thing that's interesting, is that with the nighttime we see the Observer Ward vision being reduced, and Liquid, it just seems like their map movements as a whole in general in this game, they've been so fearful of the Night Stalker ever since that Aghanims came online, because that NS just sees so much more than everybody else. Yeah. And they've been countering wards with the gem as well. So,
well, how are you ever supposed to hit an arrow? Like, you try and do the arrow and it's never going to work. Because everyone will see it coming from a mile away. You can't use the Fog of War to try and get that initiation. So as long as Fnatic have their eyes open, they're great. Also, something too which I was wondering about, I don't know if people saw me like hovering over the Reaver too. I was wondering if Hani was going in towards the heart, because he had the money to buy it, but he didn't. He refused to do it, and he was waiting a little bit longer. So the next logical option when you're saving up money with a Reaver, it's gone a straight Satanic coming in for the DK.
That's a really, really interesting choice. That's a skill build. That item build, that exact item set he has, is something I would really like on an SF that was getting focused. But I don't know if a Dragon Knight gets focused in the similar fashion, so I feel like just building up more armor or more damage would have been more appropriate.
It's the stayability. It's the stayability. It's like Hani could be on the front lines right now and saying, Batrider, please initiate on me. If it doesn't work, like jump in Lasso, he initiates on Trixie. Bobble with a BKB gets away, but the Shackle latches. They use the bear on this one. Trixie will go down, but that Lich Ultimate has destroyed TC's life points, and it just keeps bouncing around. Back up to wave 2. Era beats down the Lone Druid bear. He doesn't have another one for 8 more seconds. So this bear's on the sidelines for the price of an Aegis Immortal and a Timbersaw's life points. And Hani just keeps attacking as well. He's already used his Dragon Tail form with a power shot damage. One more attack to wave 2. It's enough. The gem is on the deck. Era's on the run out of here. And Hani, frostbitten up. Now he can turn. So he's tanking up all of this. He triggers the Satanic, but he needs more damage to really make the most out of this one. He's going to die in the middle of it too. So, yeah, maybe you are right. Maybe it's not so great.
I don't know. His item choices sometimes, man. It's... I hate to be rude, but every single time I see it, sometimes it just goes back to the TI. I don't know. I feel like Hani actually has a complex where he feels he needs to be different from other heroes. It really must be it. I can't get the basis for some of these item choices. I feel like an AC or a Heart would have helped him just run over that team fight so much better. Would have killed the Visage one attack faster with the extra damage coming from a Heart. Just many other things. And time after time after time, he never ceases to impress. Like, his item choices are always out there, out of the box. And sometimes it works, but sometimes it kills him.
Oh, in this case, it got himself killed. And Hani has always been one of those unique kind of guys that he has a way of looking at things, which
honestly,
he does see as
brilliant.
unique. Yeah,
I do think Boots of Travel is an extremely underrated item. I mean, it's really good. There's no doubt about what it can do to punish enemies and stuff. But at this point, that Satanic is not getting greedy. That's just trying to be different in a scenario where you have to follow suit. And unfortunately, you can't play Hearts when a Spade's being called because it's just not the same card. So, I don't know. I think that Satanic's going to cost them a little bit more than it seems right now. And he needs something that can help him a little bit more tankier, or the Night Stalker has to get really tanky. But the Night Stalker, not building an AC or a Heart, decides to go with the Skull Basher, who now actually does more damage than the DK, barring the fact that DK splashes, of course. But I'm not sure if that's the focus they need right now. I think they had a really nice idea, just tanking up all their heroes, just relying on their overall sustainable damage. But hold that thought, way too sexy getting caught out.
What are you going to do? Hide in the tree line? Familiars can't use Fog of War, so he's going to lose one of them as well. One pick-off is all that was required to make this like a 4v5. And then you got to remove the Soul Assumption damage from the engagements now. Plus an extra Familiar. And they'll look to the tier 2 tower in the bottom lane.
Nice job by Koipa,
it's go time.
Yeah. Nicely done by Koipa, though. At the mid lane, he's just keeping the bear there just to push it out. That's going to help a lot because that's going to force Fnatic to rotate faster. And it's also not going to give them time to reconsider. I know the push is very small, but anybody who's going to see that... Look at that, Toby. A trail of like 12 creeps lined up nicely for you to farm. Oh, man. I can't pass that up. You know what I'm saying?
Who's got the TP scroll? Timbersaw doesn't.
I don't know, but
DK's got one. Night Stalker doesn't. Windrunner and Lich.
Yeah, but somebody's got to go back.
They're staying as 5. Like, at the end of the day, I don't think they have to go back. Like, Koipa's being really greedy, and he's even farming up the dire side jungle. But the line that was drawn by Fnatic directly after that engagement was top lane. They drew a line and say go straight towards the top lane. There will be finally a TP coming back, and that'll be in the hands of Trixie. So,
yeah, the nice thing about these pushes, even though they don't really commit because they're creeps, is that you get so much vision and information out. So when Trixie's out of there and even he's pushing up pretty fast, that gave Liquid enough time to say that, okay, there's 4 people. And that's what actually let Way2 and TC just leave the base for just a few moments. So they realized that Trixie could have caught up with the rest of his team by now. And they also understand how powerful that Night Stalker is with that full nighttime vision as well as the gem, just countering every single ward. But Liquid, they have information on 2 lanes. They have the information on the bottom lane right now. Their mid lane's kind of empty, that's about to be seen. And they have so much information at the top lane because this bear is doing the same thing with the rinse, lather, repeat process, pushing in again. So they're actually not losing out much right now. Fnatic, they farmed up the Ancients, they farmed up the jungle, and Trixie pushed out a lane. But Koipa's been getting a lot of farm over the last couple of minutes just by the bear having its presence around the map with the Radiance. So Liquid reacting to the situation perfectly, and they're just waiting out for the darkness duration to run out. Once again, what seems to be a 4-minute nighttime has turned into an endless night because that darkness ability with the Aghanims and level 3 on it allows it to be so.
What do you think about Timbersaw with this Ogre Club? Now, I would throw out the option right now that he's looking at a Heaven's Halberd, just to throw out a different option. But do you think BKB, do you like BKBs on Timbersaws as well?
I do. And one of the reasons why I feel like BKB is good here is because you saw the last fight, how the Bat Rider, you know, there was the DK and there was the Night Stalker in front of him, but the Bat went straight for the Timbersaw. They know that if the Timbersaw cannot initiate with his source of damage, then they can actually just win the fight with sustainability because they have more damage in the long run. Liquid right now. But Timbersaw is kind of the X factor, and also if Timbersaw gets lassoed and just pops the BKB, he can turn up.
Arrow evaded, and they got the bear. That was a really, really good shackle. Knew the creep wave was behind it, so just threw it out, and there it is. The BKB flying out to Trixie out. That bear's gone down, and Lone Druid had to resummon.
Wow. Hani's very, very dedicated to this Ancient stack. He's been farming it the entire time his team's rotated to top, to mid. He's been just killing like 4 stacks of Ancients with just his Bear Dragon form. Not showing that he's using the Elder Dragon form, which is good. But I feel like it could have been, I mean, in hindsight, it would have been better to just pop it, I think.
I think you should also take a quick look at the graphs, man. Because through all of this, like, Liquid's split pushing out with the Lone Druid, okay, that's great. But Fnatic, they keep gaining advantage. It's sitting almost near 13,000 experience advantage going their way. And the gold advantage is over 6,000 as well. So you put all of this together, and you really ask yourself the question, well, with a 5-second stun on Hani, he'll be fine. Who was really getting the most out of this waiting time?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, once again, Fnatic's not losing out at all. When you're taking the enemy jungles and enemy ancients, you're doing something right.
They got one familiar, Shackle flies, and that actually latched. That somehow, like the bird's not affected by it, but way too sexy is. I still find those familiars completely and utterly laughable.
Yeah, that Visage hero is quite something, I tell ya.
He's such a... Visage himself isn't broken. The familiars themselves, with what they can tank up, and their immunity is just... It's crazy. It's crazy.
You're just lucky familiars aren't able to carry items.
Yes. But then again, I do... Well, could you imagine if the familiars turned into be something like the old flying chickens used to be back in Dota 1, and then you'd have Dagons on every single familiar. So not only are they dishing out, like they got at this point just under they're doing 109 damage with their initial hit. Like that's already pretty nice. Then you add a Dagon onto the back of their damage. But then beyond that, if you got micro skills, add 3 Dagons. Boom! E-Scepter, the newest thing to come up in a Visage. And he goes back into carry form.
That's what I'm saying, man. Yes. Endless possibilities of burst damage in all forms.
Like they got Lasso, they got Hani. They're dragging him back, and he's going to die right now. They've got enough damage with the Soul Assumption damage too. Lich Elder will bounce up, and they're going to have to split themselves up a little. Fluff and TC walk away from each other. 4 staff down, and they're going in deeper. Trixie with the Shiva's Guard going to pop way too sexy, very slow with the Bear. That's currently being picked off from Era, and the Bear does go down. Lone Druid does have himself a resummon, but right now the rest of Liquid are trying to bail themselves out of this one. They already had the buyback that came out from Hani. Familiars have headed down south, 3 of them still alive. And Liquid just got possibly the best trade in the world they could have asked for.
Yeah, that was pretty darn huge. I'm actually so surprised that came to pass the way it did. I thought Fnatic was going to act immediately.
Oh, no! Oh, it almost was great. Oh, he missed up the hill.
Is that even possible with Splash?
It looks to be, sir.
I guess so, yeah. Wow.
He attacked from inside the pit out to the familiars who are up on the high ground.
Yeah, just at the end of the familiar stone form, he gets to see the spawning of the Roche. That's so much intel that goes for Liquid now, and Liquid's gonna be able to prep for this. Darkness will be up, and when darkness runs out, it'll be daytime for 40 seconds, and that's about to be in 13 seconds. Fnatic are aware of this. They know that Dragon Form is going down too. They can't possibly
but if they can pick up this new Bear, they know it went down before. But Bulba, they use the Bear as bait. The Shackle from No-Town, nice on him for Fluff and stuff. So Fluff and stuff now, maybe he can get himself away. The 4-staff, the Bear's on the sidelines. Era with the BKB being triggered off. Fly just tries to keep him frosted up and slowed down. Trixie's got that Shark in a perfect position, so TC has nowhere to run out of this one. So now Liquid, well, they had themselves a great fight before, but now Roshan is exposed.
Wow, that Bear picked off. Honestly, I can't say. Fnatic played that really well, but Koipa he sent that Bear in way too quickly, right in the middle of the 3 strength heroes. If he was looking to snipe supports, even then it would have been difficult because the Lich Aura, the Ice Armor, prevents Bear to right-click very fast. But man, that Bear is going to cost him huge. And Fnatic, they're actually going to get
Trixie,
this.
is he getting way too sexy? He's got enough life points to survive that. And the Familiars are forced back. That tower's on 98 life points, while Roshan is picked up by the Dire side. And Trixie will just deny off the tier 2 tower in the top lane. But that's now all out of towers from both sides on the sidelines.
Has been denied.
My oh my. a couple moments of intensity there, back and forth. Woof. I'm not sure if the next fight is going to be enough for Liquid. I mean, they have the bear coming up again, and Quipa's going to summon that immediately, of course. But that, Fnatic, if anybody's paying attention, which they probably are, that bear is on cooldown for another 2 minutes. They just got the Aegis. Daytime is about to expire in 1 minute. This is possibly the best timing they've had all game. And even if the side lanes are pushing this time, they're so deep into the mid lane right now that when nighttime hits, it's going to be perfect time to strike. So I'm not sure if Liquid's prepared for this, man.
Oh.
They're doing the best they can with the side lanes right now, but I'm just not sure if they're prepared.
Well, they're at least not prepared enough to use fortification. Speaking of someone who's prepared, Boy Scout now just basically raided the kitty. We've got a Heaven's Halberd over on Lich at the moment. He's got a lot of money. Notel focus firing down the melee racks. The fortification has already been used, so Liquid keep their pressure going and forced up in on Notel. Frostbite's there too. The melee rack's going down at the same time on the bottom lane. Timbersaw's Teep being back try and stop this push in coming out from the Lone Druid, but he's managed to be successful. Koiva managed to get that one. Familiar drop down onto Era. Flubberstuff throwing down the oldie. Now Lich Ullman, wow! Life points just disappear. Crystal Maiden on the sideline. They move over to way too sexy Familiars. They don't have a drop down. In fact, they're going to lose all. They lose 2 out of the 3 Familiars. But it is still a 1 melee racks for a 1 melee racks if you don't take into account the hero kills.
Yeah, Koiva did a really good job of pushing very, very fast in. And I do want to say that Fnatic might have overlooked that pushing power of the Lone Druid for a moment. But Koiva, remember that he also has a BKB on his bear, and his resummon is coming up in about 30 seconds. So, Fnatic, if they want to press this issue for round 2, they better go fast.
They're doing it. Arrows flying down. That's going to be completely missing everybody. But with the middle lane pushing in, there's no backdoor regeneration either. So, tier 3 tower in the bottom lane is gone. Lich able to get the last hit out in that one. And they just keep frosting, range damaging down that bear. Sharkham as well, blinking from Bulba. Got a lasso, dragging back over to Trixie. Bear got an entangle out on him as well. And Era, Trixie, they're in so close. The mech charge will pop off. Trixie, Timber chains away. 500 life points. Use the one charge and the bear's down again. This is a real big problem right now for Liquid, especially when Flufferstuff, even Invis, gets himself lassoed to one of the Mirana images. But Hani has been forced after away, and they need more speed. They need to get away. Hani flame break, triggers the Aegis Immortal. Notel stunned up by the Familiar drop down, so now he goes down as well. There's 4 napalm stacks making this very difficult for Fnatic to fight around, but they've still got Flufferstuff in close. The Lich only bounces up. TC, 81 life points. Timber Chain goes up. Whirling Death. Mana, he didn't use it. The Shark will be able to pick up the Mirana, however. Back down to the bottom lane. Soul Assumption damage. Hani standing his ground. They still have no bear, and they're going to lose the main bear too. Koiva on the sidelines. Jump back in by Bulba. The Firefly is down the deck right now, including that gem from the Night Stalker who brought himself back at Hani. He's Warcraft 3 surround trapped it right on top of the staircase. 12 to 17. Fly, flame break, flame Bulba. Oh, I got a feeling those reflexes be a little bit slow there, Bulba. Either way,
yeah, both
12
Bulba
to 17.
And TC. Wow, I'm so surprised they didn't get that Lich. I thought that was a sure kill. Surprising. I'm gonna have to check the pings. I'll be right back.
something
that is a real big surprise to me.
Something for Pigs right now won't really matter. Maybe for Bulba, once he's able to pick up that refresher orb, is what he's building into. Dear. He just brought up the recipe. He doesn't have the money to finish the whole thing, but it looks like we're looking at a double lasso, double BKB coming out from Bulba. But it's only a 4-second long BKB. I'm wondering if a 10-second BKB might have been a little bit better for him as opposed to a refresher. Either way, he changes his mind. I think he did just see that gem on the bottom, which this courier should probably be going out to pick up right now, before Nightstone can get it back. Because Fnatic have no... Oh, no, they do. They got True Vision. It's coming out from Notel now. Who's also got 4K gold on that Windrunner. Just to, like...
Yeah.
money for supports be looking good.
Put the cherry on top, you know. Just assist Fnatic in their conquest of dominating the entire map with the Night Stalker. And speaking of the Night Stalker, he's picked up a plate mail. Is that going to be... Well, that can't be an AC because Hani was going for that.
No. Hani will go into Mjolnir then. Hani will go into Mjolnir.
Yeah, he's changed up the Hyperstone. Well, he's just kept it as a casual Hyperstone. And of course, his drum has 0 charges, so I feel like he should rotate that out for TP. But regardless, he's the one that's drawing the lions at the back, saying let's go. And Era has picked up the double damage, which is going to last for another 30 seconds or so. Do Fnatic want to fight again? Do they want to press the issue yet again?
Yes.
I'm not too sure if this is the best time right now.
Well, the bear's still on cooldown for 90 more seconds. And they'll know it because the bear got resummoned when when Lone Druid came back up again. So they'll know there is a small window of opportunity right now.
Yeah, but at the same time, the top lane is getting pushed so far in that they'd have to go for one of the other lanes, and that's going to cause potential problems against the Bad Rider because he has so many rooms of initiation, openings rather.
Unless Fnatic's fast enough, they can catch the bear out. And this,
Yeah, that would be
this
really
bear
big.
should be recalled almost instantly. Like, if it waits any longer, sees a hero, there we go. As the Sharkram flies its way, it gets pulled back to base again. And is there a point
Nice
booster on that courier? Because right now, I see the hand minus transferred over to Quoiva. So Spirit Bear can actually use the Abyssal Blade himself.
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of theory crafting talks with that regard. I think Abyssal is just fine without trying to get fancy with the 2-second stun. I think it actually costs you a lot of time, and that inventory space that it takes up with the point booster is so huge. I don't think it should be worth.
But if you just want to have a basher, then just get yourself a basher or put it.
Well, the
through
thing
a
is,
Monkey
the
King bar.
Abyssal gives the extra 60 damage, and I think that's relatively big.
Okay.
Yeah, it is expensive. There's no denying that. But at this point, you look at his bear. Like, how much more can you get stacked on that bear? I mean, you need the BKB, you want the Vase Boots, and you want to keep the Midas. Of course, the Midas could be something else, but I honestly think that at this point, Koifa should have looked into stacking his main bear. He's having a hard time staying alive against all the strength heroes that can just dive him.
So put something like the AC, switch it back over to his main bear.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know my theory with the bear, just AC Radiance and then just stack your main bear. That Lone Druid, the main bear has a pretty low BAT, so he hits very similar to an Alchemist, maybe minus the base damage, but that could be taken care of with a couple items.
Speaking of a couple of items, I'm liking this from TC. There's been too many Maranas that go late game that just don't have any kind of items, but we're 52 minutes into this game right now, and Manta Style, Desolator, Crystallis. It's not the most amazing farm you've ever seen on a Marana, but she's managed to weather that mid game, where Fnatic were the ones that were pushing in hard, and still managed to find enough farm that in the later portion of this game, she still brings something. Like, you've got negative armor effects, which is going to be great up against a hero like a DK, who's already walking around with, and everyone's walking around with Lich armor. But then you have Timber Sword towards the mix too, when his reactive armor kicks in. You need that Desolator to keep him low, so they can get these kills, not have to basically scratch through layers and layers of plate mail.
Yeah, that's
Gank him in.
that's always really
They're
tough.
coming in.
Although,
They throw the ulti out. DK's going to make his way in. That courier, well, Fluff and Stuff's dead straight away. And that shackle was perfect from Notel. Quoit from Bulba, locked in position. Quoit is going to go down right now. So Lone Druid pops and his bear will go with him. And then TC, he's being chased down as well. One TP out. Oh, the shackle! It lashed on way too sexy. He didn't get out in time. Bulba got away to safety. Marana as well. But life be very, very difficult right now for Team Liquid. They've lost 3 heroes. There's no bear to do the split push and hold them out. This will be a 5-man push down by Fnatic, and they'll mop up the rest of the bottom lane and possibly even go for the tier 4s.
wow, I'm surprised that shackle latched. That tree was like right above him. Well, that's unfortunate. That's gonna force a lot of buybacks out of Liquid, and unfortunately for them, Goifla buying back is not the one they. Oh, hold that thought.
Bulba, hexed up. There's a sight the Vice over on Trixie and Bulba. Down so low. 280 life point. Shackle. Look at that angle on the bear as well as way too sexy. Hero's not quite sure about being in so close, especially now that Harney's Dragon Form is worn off. And they are getting that negative armor on him. He's only got 17 armor. And now, well, BKB and maybe a little bit of extra help. And again, that Shackle. Notel, time and time again, has been making this space and opportunities for Fnatic. And that space maybe enough to help them survive. First hit bash, Bulba jumps in, last him on Hani. They drag him back, they get the kill on the DK. They need more, however, with this BKB up on the Spirit Bear. First hit entangle, no. Second hit entangle. Well, this arm, that's not really helping him out. Now they beat down and fly. So both DK as well as the Lich on the sidelines, back inside the base. However, Trick's trying to give him something else to think about. But this needs to be a full-on GG push by Liquid. They need so much more right now against Fnatic, and DK is going to buy back, and they are falling back already.
That's probably enough to scare them off. I think it's wise that Liquid will back off. They don't have any buyback, so if anybody dies in the enemy base here, Fnatic can just do a counter push for the victory, especially with 2 sides of Raxus, at least melee Raxus.
No, another thing to point out too, if they ended up losing that fight and Roshan's respawning Fluff and stuff, oh, Shackle, it doesn't last this time. Way too managed to back up. He was walking up that hill, however.
Yeah, that was such a close one. If that Shackle landed, that would have been Era's key to goal.
This could be a big kill. Look how quickly they're bringing down Roshan. Notel comes in. The shackle goes. Roshan, he's actually killed up by the Radiant, picked up by Lone Druid. Lasso, it's dragging Hani up and out of the pit, but he wants to keep him in there. Now Refresher or Bulba goes again onto Hani, dragging him down, holding him there. They still need this damn kill. They've committed 2 to him. Soul Assumption damage will pick him up. Visage gets to kill the DK. Hero low on life too. Negative armor. That Desolator is working overtime. TC's got himself a double kill. He's got all the space in the world. Trixie, now they're following him down. There's a lot of damage coming out with the Timber Chain. But they're chasing up the hill. It's 102 seconds with the Night Stalker on the sideline. And for Liquid, they've got a choice to make. Their bottom lane is pushed in pretty hard. They're going to lose their range racks here. Do they go for the GG push, knowing DK is not for 71 seconds? Or do they go back and defend? We've already got TC moving back. He doesn't have enough life points. We're doing a bit of both here. I don't think that's going to work for him.
Ooh.
Trixie,
what's going to happen here?
Evades. Shiva's guard. Arrow, he doesn't have a leap. Mana style, 1 second time. Trixie, he's got him. He stops TC. They've got to commit now. We're already at Notel being dragged back out again. So Liquid, they're going to breach in this mid. Do they go for the GG push? We're going to buy back into the BTs, searching after Fly. And they are. They're going for the GG push here, Team Liquid. They're behind by so far, by so much amount of golden experience. But they're tanking it all up. The creep wave's pushing into the tier 4 towers of Liquid's side right now, and Koitva, he's so low on life, he'll lose his bed. There's no resummon for a minute, and the Aegis Simon will at least let him come back up to life again. But Trixie forcing Bowler back out again. TC very low on life. He's already bought back for this. This is an all or nothing. Arrow will connect on to Trixie and Koitva. They're just trying to do the straight off damage. Way too sexy, and Koitva with the Familiar's Birds. It's not enough damage to bring down this Rax. This throne. Bulba's still in here. He'll go down as well. Buyback by the Crystal Maiden. The Fortress down to half missed life points. BT's coming in. Both Bat Rider as well as the Crystal Maiden. But the Bats, the TP didn't finish there. Hani pops his Frost Dragon form. They're retreating back out again. Trixie, does he go for the Bats? He's Timber Chaining down. He wants the hero Quoid for Shiva's guard. Welling down. That's not enough to pick him off. He's got 20 seconds before this bear comes back up again. But the attempted GG from Fnatic does not work.
Ooh, and Era has just bought out an entire BOTs. He's got Darkness up available for him anytime, and daytime is at 8 o'clock, so I assume that if they're going to push down the mid lane with the Dragon Knight ultimate, this has to happen now. And honestly, one of the tier 4s going down against Liquid, it's just not going to help them against the creeps. So this is looking to be a very, very scary time. Liquid has invested a lot into getting that throne in those last moments, and now Fnatic returning with the same exchange.
Bulba, we're going jump in. Blink, Lasso, he grabs Hani, but he got bashed up almost instantly and destroyed. There is just no standing up against this Fnatic lineup right now. It's way too late game. We almost hit an hour on this matchup. And Era picks up a double kill, and this will be the GG call coming out from Team Liquid. They threw the dice, they tried it, but Fnatic hit back, and we'll find ourselves going into a game 3, man.
Oh man, that was way too close for comfort. Those last moments right there, holy smokes. I thought for a second that Liquid had it, man. Wow, that was really, really close, and that could have been one of the biggest comebacks I've seen in this patch. This patch doesn't seem to be very friendly to comebacks because most teams like to just dominate their lanes and snowball from that stage on. But my oh my, if there was gonna be a comeback, I think Liquid was just moments away from clinching that one. So really, really good effort by them. Unfortunately, a couple things here and there, like especially at the mid lane when they're chasing the DK, if a Bash or an Entangle came out a little bit earlier, they might have had better time pushing down the lanes. But aside from a couple RNG luck here and there, they really, really put in an A+ effort in that base and took down the towers really, really fast. But as soon as that bear died, the damage output just completely crumbled. So
yeah,
Trixie doing a really nice job too, picking up the Priestess and forcing the buyback out of her as well as the Butcher Travel. That's a lot of big plays coming out for both teams.
Mirana was the key, really. Mirana was that whole key. And Liquid, it did feel slightly premature, but you could understand the reason why they're doing it. Like, we saw the gold graph as well. Like, it's just, the advantage to Fnatic was just so damn high, and they realized they were losing. We were talking about it a long time ago. Night Stalker, Timbersaw, Dragon Knight. You put these three guys into a late portion of a game, and your damage output just isn't enough to deal with them. And Bulba went down the other line and thought, well, maybe I can just like blink Lasso and do that twice over and control them. But when he gets bashed up or gets controlled, you saw how quickly he died on top of his own fortress. That was from full life to 0 in the space of maybe 1 second. And that's a long time for a 58-minute in Bat Rider hero at level 19. So, yeah. Anyway, we'll have ourselves a short break, people. So back here in a couple of moments' time. Game number 3 of Fnatic going up against Team Liquid for the Dota 2 Championship League will be coming up shortly. You can check out all the details for the league. Details, d2cl.org is the place to head to. So thanks for watching. We'll see you back here in just a couple of moments' time.